welcome to Nursing Notes Corner. So today topic is renal calculi. Okay, so before going to start the topic, don't forget to subscribe the channel. If you like our channel, show more support. Okay, so let's start. So first introduction. So renal calculi is the deposition of hard fatty salts. Okay, so the hard fatty salts can form in the urinary tract. Okay, it usually forms in the urinary tract. So this is about introduction. So next one is definition. So renal calculi we also called as kidney stones. Okay, so the stone can form anywhere in the urinary tract, but it mostly develop on the renal pelvis and calces. Okay, so here the diagram shows the stone is formed in the ureter and here calces. Okay, so next, what are the causes of renal calculi? Okay, so first one cause is unknown cause. Okay, so next cause is metabolic factor. Okay, in metabolic factor, due to abnormalities, okay, due to some abnormalities which causes the increased level of calcium. Okay, increased level of calcium in the urine due to some abnormalities causes increased level of calcium in the urine. Okay, so that increases the oxaluric acid and uric acid and citric acid level. Okay, so these are the causes of metabolic factor. So next one is climate. Okay, so warm climate, usually warm climate that causes the increased fluid loss. Due to warm climate there may be an increased fluid loss, so the fluid loss may cause the low urine volume. Okay, and also increased solute concentration in urine. Okay, this all about in climate. So next one is diet. Okay, in diet, due to large intake of dietary protein, it causes the increased uric acid excretion. Okay, due to intake of dietary protein, it causes the increased uric acid excretion. Okay, so increased uric acid excretion causes the low fluid intake. Okay, it causes low fluid intake and increased urinary concentration. Okay, so this causes large intake of calcium. Okay, so in diet this all about. Okay, so next one is, so in next one, genetic factor. So in genetic factor, family history of stone formation. Okay, previous history of stone formation in the family. Okay, so in other factors, previous history of renal calculi and any urinary tract infection. Okay, so in other factors these all come. Okay, so next we are going to see types. Okay, there are 4 types of kidney stones. So let's see one by one. So first type is calcium stone. Okay, and second type is uric acid stone, and third one is cystine stone, and the fourth one is oxalate stone. Okay, so let's see calcium stone. So in calcium stone, 95% of calcium is infiltrated at glomerular. Okay, so and it is reabsorbed at the proximal and distal tubular. Okay, so here limited amount of collecting tube. Okay, sorry, here fluid intake will be encouraged. Okay, and restriction of sodium and protein. Okay, so in calcium stone, fluid intake should be encouraged, and sodium and protein should be restricted. Okay, so next one is uric acid stones. So in uric acid stone, the patient is placed on the low purine diet. Okay, the patient should be placed on the low purine diet. So okay, because of to reduce the excretion of uric acid in the urine. Okay, to reduce the excretion of uric acid in the urine, the patient should be placed in the low purine diet. Okay, the food which are high in purine like shellfish, mushrooms, organelles should be avoided, and the protein should be limited. Okay, so these about uric acid stone. So next one is cystine stone. Okay, so in cystine stone, low protein diet should be prescribed for the patient. Okay, so while prescribing a low protein diet, the urine is alkaline. Okay, the urine is alkalinized and fluid intake is increased. Okay, so this about a cystine stone. So next one is oxalate stone. Okay, here in oxalate stone, a dilute urine is maintained. Okay, and the intake of oxalate should be limited. Okay, the intake of oxalate should be limited, and here dilute urine is maintained. So the food which is high in oxalate, spinach, strawberries, chocolate and tea, wheat grain, these all are high in oxalate. Okay, so next one is pathophysiology. Okay, so let's see pathophysiology. Okay, due to calcium calculi, it causes high rate of bone reabsorption. Okay, due to calcium calculi, it causes high rate of bone reabsorption. Okay, so high rate of bone reabsorption leads to increased renal filtration. Okay, so increased renal filtration causes decreased tubular reabsorption. Okay, so due to decreased tubular reabsorption, it causes increased urine in the calcium. Okay, sorry, increased urine calcium concentration. Okay, next, due to increased urine calcium concentration, it causes there may be a deposition of calcium. Okay, so here increased urine calcium concentration causes a deposition of deposition of calcium. So due to deposition of calcium, it forms a stone formation. Okay, and due to stone formation, there may be obstruction of urinary flow. Okay, there may be obstruction of urinary flow. So obstruction of urinary flow may causes hydronephrosis. Okay, so it causes hydronephrosis. So hydronephrosis means swelling of kidney. Okay, the kidney may swell due to buildup of urine. Okay, so next one is clinical manifestation. In clinical manifestation, first we are going to see common symptoms. Okay, so first one is nausea, vomiting, fever and chills. Okay, there may be hematuria, which means blood in the urine. Okay, and abdominal distension. Anuria means absence of urine, and elevated BP and pulse will be there. Okay, so these all are the common symptoms of renal calculi. Okay, so next one is what are the symptoms if the stone is present in the kidney. Okay, if the stone is present in the kidney, let's see what are the symptoms. There may be a sharp severe pain. Okay, and the pain is sudden onset. Okay, the pain may occur sudden and onset. Okay, so there may be a irritation and radiculating pain. The pain may radiculate around the side and downwards. Okay, in a male it is present in the testicles, and in a female it is in bladder. Okay, so next, if the stone is present in the bladder, so what are the symptoms? Okay, let's see. Urgency voiding of urine. Okay, the patient feels that urgency voiding of urine and frequency. Okay, and hematuria, you all know, blood in the urine, and chronic cystitis will be there. Okay, and there may be increased pressure in the bladder. Okay, if the stone present in the bladder, it causes increased pressure in the bladder. Okay, so these are the symptoms in a bladder calculi. So next, let's see diagnostic evaluations. Okay, so in diagnostic evaluation, first one is KUB. Okay, which means kidney, ureter and bladder. So it shows the renal calculi. Okay, next one is uropathy. So it is help to determine the diagnosis and location and also the size of renal calculi. Okay, uropathy is help to confirm the diagnosis and also determine the size and location of the calculi. Okay, so uropathy will be done. And renal USG. In renal USG, it is helped to detect whether the renal calculi is an unilateral or bilateral. Okay, and hydronephrosis also. So urine culture is done to check whether there may be a pyuria or UTI. Pyuria and UTI, which means urinary tract infection. Okay, so next one is CT scan. In CT scan, retrograde pylography will be done. Okay, to determine the locations. So next we are going to see management. In management, we are going to divide it into three. One is pharmacological management, surgical management and nursing management. We have to write separately. Okay, so first, pharmacological management. Okay, in pharmacological management, alcopurinol will be given. Okay, and second one is methenamine mandilate. So it is given to suppress the calculus. Okay, methenamine mandilate will be given to suppress the calculus formation. Okay, when infection is present. Okay, So next one is acetohydroxamic acid. Okay, so next analgesic will be given to reduce the pain, and diuretics will be given, okay, to promote hydration. Okay, we should okay, next one is dietary changes should be done. Okay, this is all about pharmacological management. So next one is surgical management. Okay, in surgical management, first one is pyelolithotomy. Okay, pyelolithotomy means it is a surgical procedure. Okay, so pyelolithotomy is a surgical procedure to remove the stone. Okay, to remove the stone in the pelvis. If the stone is present in the pelvis, so pyelolithotomy will be done to remove the stone. Okay, so next one is nephrolithotomy. So it is a surgical procedure. It is used to remove the stone when it is present in the kidney. Okay, so pyelolithotomy will be done when the stone is present in the pelvis, and a nephrolithotomy will be done when the stone is present in the kidney. Okay, and next one is urolithotomy. So urolithotomy, it is an open laparoscopic surgical removal of stones. Okay, open laparoscopic surgical removal of stones from the ureter. Okay, so ureter. Okay, so next one is cystostomy. So it is a removal of stone in the bladder. Okay, you understand this? So next we are going to see nursing management. Okay, so IHR should be monitored, and the vital signs should be checked. Okay, food restriction should be done, and salt restriction should be done. Okay, so these all about renal calculi. So if you want extra notes, you can refer books. Okay, thank you.